fights early, whereas Skarner very happy to sit back, even in the flex. They might just want to play it back and just look for those later dragons scaling too, but Caitlyn has been so oppressive as well going forward. That range that you get, once you get those 3-4 items online, you hit like a truck. Maybe you hit like a scorpion. We'll just have to see.
That'll be the plan, right? And again, with the Lee Sin being picked up by Kiin, it's also denial from HamBak, who loves that champion and the opportunities presented by the playmaking on the champion. If you're looking at like the playmakers on the likes of Sentinels, HamBak's often one of the first names that comes to mind. Even if Rahel has been probably the later game carry you rely on, that's a good sign for it. Gen.G, though, have managed to pick themselves up a pretty deadly wombo combo of their own. Chovy has been allowed to have Orianna.
It somehow feels illegal at this point. It should have been there, but having this Orianna is going to be so big, and now you've got a Ziggs on the back of it. Ruler is going to be running amok on these towers, throwing out the satchel and just doing absolutely whopping damage. But it is, like you said, Chovy's Orianna paired with Canyon's Lee Sin. It's a combo that dreams are made of.
And look, I think for a long time, a lot of esports fans, League of Legends fans are going to go, yeah, what about that Orianna being banned every game thing that we saw for a long time? Over MSI, we did start to see it be let through and get beaten semi-regularly with the right draft. If you've got something like the Akali with a Lee Sin, some ability to outplay with your mobility and your burst, there have been enough nerfs to the Orianna that it feels like potentially you can manage it. It's not a guarantee, but it can be done, and clearly Sentinels are willing to take the risk. Second phase of bans coming on through. Pike being taken away from Duro. You've got the Ziggs, you've got the Lee Sin. You can leave the Ziggs alone. You can enjoy the Lee Sin. I see why that ban's coming on through. There's kind of been this trifecta of Camille, Pike, Nautilus, of those kind of roaming, hook, playmaking supports, and at least one of them getting taken off the board here. Worth noting, alongside there's that Nautilus. I wonder whether Sentinels might look to be saying, we can deal with a Camille, as on the other side there's some bans towards the top lane. Things like the Rumble away from Impact, who may have had a few years playing at this point.
A few. Too many. But no, still, at the same time, Bard has also been picked up as we sort of bring it back as well. That roaming support that does have those magical journeys, and journeys all over the map we have seen. So we're going to be seeing a lot of roaming, and that's right. You called out the Camille. I think that's a really strong point here. Leave Ruler to their own. Let them just scale a little bit in that bot side, and let Duro just get out onto the map and wreak havoc as well. But Renekton, final ban over there for Gen.G, so they are going to be pretty comfortable in this towards this top side, getting rid of some very strong champions.
With the Renekton ban, I wonder whether they're looking for an Ambessa here. Decent follow-up, and again, the worst matchup for Ambessa is pretty much the Renekton. It's just miserable at most stages of the game. You have your shield breaks, your repudiate doesn't work, you have to be melee of a Renekton who out-heals you. It's tough. You're going to get the Viktor locked in, and now between Viktor and Caitlyn and Bard and Skarner, if you get into a river first, you set up around an objective first, you can set up a massive wall.
Yeah, and that Storm as well is going to be so big, especially when you will want this Lee Sin going in. Canyon wants to be in these fights. Dropping that Storm on his head, it's just going to chase the team away. So playing around this cooldowns, there is the Ambessa being picked up there. Kiin is going to be feeling so good on this and going to be able to just get to this backline so well. It's one of these champions. Oh, and there's the you just called it. Absolutely, mate. You are reading minds today.
Sometimes it's like I know what I'm talking about. Only occasionally. But yeah, I think the Ambessa made sense once we saw that Renekton ban, and with the Pike and the Nautilus banned, it was like, well, the Camille's up and you've locked the Bard. Difficult to get rid of that as well. But clearly they said, look, Duro, we're more afraid of you on the Nautilus than Pike version. And Camille, we have seen the highs of it, but it is one of those picks that you will die a few times making the plays more often than not. Last pick, though, might be something like this Shen. That could go top, and it likely will do, as we've not really seen the Skarner go on in, but this is something that Impact's been playing for years, and you can just say, Lee Sin, Camille are going in, Shen'll, no.
Look, and yeah, the Shen is such a big pick here as well. Like, you get those strong taunts. You do have the global, so it's not just a TP's available now. You can get to these fights a little bit faster. So it will be on Kiin to be smarter about rotating with the team, whereas Impact is happy to sit in the side lane just a little bit longer, come in with a big shield, and cause the upset. So I'm excited to see how these team fights are going to go forward as well, because I'm looking at this Caitlyn Bard, and yes, Sentinels, they've been looking pretty good. Like you said, they have these ways of being able to either get really strong leads and take it all the way, or if they fall short. But Gen.G, they've come off quite a big break. We're starting to see them move a little bit differently. We want to see what they're bringing to the table after having some downtime.
Look, Canyon and Duro have got a lot of agency to them and a lot of weight on their shoulders in this draft. They're the ones with the big playmaking that needs to set up for that Orianna shockwave, the Ziggs bomb, the Ambessa following up with that public execution, and you want to annihilate whatever poor soul is caught within that Hextech ultimatum. That's the plan. On the other side for Sentinels, it's a lower floor to execution. They've made things a bit simpler in that sense. You have a Skarner, you have a Shen playing off on that side lane, you set up a load of traps, you set up a gravity field, and you say, get in, try and come into us. We dare you. You've got your own pick, and you try and keep that Viktor and that Caitlyn miles away and make it a difficult choice for the Lee Sin and the Camille. That said, they better watch their flanks. The mobility, the flank options are through the roof for Gen.G, and if they can find a way behind or catch people in 3v3s, in 2v2s, in those skirmish scenarios, that setup of zone control will be a lot harder to come to fruition for the side of Sentinels.
And Gen.G, I would call them, they're almost like a loaded gun. You pause for a second. If you take too long, they're going to pull the trigger and they will just take you out. Doesn't matter. I'm really worried for this Caitlyn who can get jumped on from afar. You talked about these unique angles that Camille can do, the Ambessa as well. It's going to be one of these things you have to be so careful. A single ward hop from this Lee Sin Canyon could spell an absolute disaster. But here we are, getting ready for the first game of the day here on B Stream. Initialize, it's going to be a doozy. Gen.G versus Sentinels. I am excited.
As you should be, defending EWC winners in Gen.G. One of those teams that has been so monstrous for so long. Would love to kind of come back to the fore here. A little bit of time off, one at MSI, bit of time to right some of the wrongs, fix some of the things that was not quite right with the team. And for Sentinels, right, this is a team that has been mercurial to say the least. Looking, understandably, to kind of prove that the underdog can be a dangerous beast indeed. Darkwings went up from that academy system up in NA, played over in NACL and a few other places as well. I want to say it was a collegiate scene as well, but do forgive me if I'm off on that one. But it has been kind of one of those players that's kind of around so many veterans at this point, and like Huhi and Impact are two of the longest standing names in esports, never mind the LCS as a whole.
Yeah, well, that's so true. Like, every single player here has got some great experience, but it's the Sentinels' maybe lack of international experience that we do need to talk about as well, where this is a team first time coming out into the open and seeing what these teams are going to be made of. And going up against Gen.G, that's a tall order. That is a big drink to sort of scull. But I think they're up for the task. I think they've got some moves, they've got some plays. Headed up by Golden Glue, their coach, I think they've got a good game plan ahead. They've clearly, like you said, drafted around this mid, and already Duro looking to be very offensive on the level 2. But this is what you like to see, but the electrocute proc, a little bit rough, taken pretty low.
And we have seen the Camille picked into the Bard semi-regularly as something to say, look, Bard has been the support you can't give up, particularly to say a player like Carrier, God forbid, or something like that, right? The playmaking, the roaming, the pick potential, the slipperiness of the champion of the magical journey can get very challenging to manage. Camille does that better than most, particularly once you get the level 6 top side. Some aggressive trading, but neither necessarily feeling it. What's the timing flash? Doesn't quite land.
Oh, but nothing too big of note, but I like the aggression coming out of Impact there. Clearly knowing that Shen level 3 is quite strong, the taunts are good. You can make some aggressive trades, and taking Kiin out of the game just a little bit early, gaining some tempo, means once that level 6 comes online, maybe they can roam, but already Canyon spots it out and says, maybe we can go for something here. Impact has to be careful. Canyon's full HP, the ward hop, just to get behind and slow it down a little bit more. And I think this could just be first blood, as it is picked up by Canyon.
It is. Kiin gets the assist as well, which is very nice. Canyon skips out on taking that blue buff to get on over and be on a slightly awkward timer. Catches Impact, undoes some of the shove, and again, that trading earlier, both top laners left low. Well, it's easy pickings for Lee Sin.
Not the end of the world still. Couple objectives still on the board coming up at 1.5 minutes. We got that dragon, so I guess we'll have to see where these teams are going to get priority, but let's look at this replay of just this nice little gank. It was nice to see Canyon getting that early rotation.
Yep, really was. Gets the ward hop behind Impact and says, look, there's no way you're getting out here. Hits the Sonic Wave and says, at this point, I'm just going to auto you. Not going to press the Q2 and lives Impact with very limited options. Back to life, though. Duro has to flash away as HamBak gets a drive into the wall.
Straight back in, but Canyon's very happy with this. Able to just ward hop out, get under the tower, is able to stay out of danger. But nice proactivity again. Sentinels being aggressive in the jungle. I like to see it.
And this is something we've seen a lot from LCP, from LCK, from LPL, a lot of our eastern regions in general. Junglers can choose to make early plays. They can choose to drop a camp or two and look to get some gold, but it often comes at cost in the mid game because you guarantee your opposite number will be taking more camps, and that gives you a level advantage, and it feels like that level advantage can often outweigh 1 kill, 2 kills. You really need to make sure that kill was worth it.
Yeah, 100%. We're already seeing just a 1k gold lead already at 4 minutes heading over for Gen.G. Clearly a lot of that is on that first blood kill, but it's just a death by 1,000 cuts, it might even say, is just getting those little CS leads across the board too. You can see that early gank sort of put Canyon back just a little bit. It's only about a camp or two, but it's not the end of the world. It's a Lee Sin. They like the early ganks, and getting that first blood is going to help accelerate them even further.
What it does mean for HamBak, though, is it means he is going to be a step closer to the level 6. And if you look at level 6s generally across the board here, I don't think you have to be particularly good at League of Legends or a big esports knower to notice there's some pretty scary ultimates on the board here.
Oh, yeah.
And Skarner in particular, that Impale, is right up there as one of the highest power budget ults in the game.
Oh, yeah. It is so huge, and again, it's one of these things that Gen.G, they want to be grouped up in these strong team fights and get onto the back line. Putting a Chaos Storm over the top, I said it in draft, it's going to be getting so much maximum potential in damage, depending on how Darkwings is going to be able to hold on and maybe scale as well. You're up against Chovy of all players, a player that is known to be incredibly good at farming. You see Magical Journey, Huhi looking to come down onto Ruler. Here's HamBak as well, but Sentinels is still level 5, flashes traded, and it is Ruler able to get away.
Didn't need to burn that flash, there would have been a lot of danger. Duro's now roamed down, but it's only level 3, really. Same as Huhi, as we noted, but that'll be Dragon spawning. Flash taken off. That Ziggs could be at risk a little later on. It's actually started with the Hex Tech actuator here as well, interestingly. It means it's probably not going towards the Luden straight up if memory serves. Dragon being contested. This would be the level 6 Scuttle Crab. Eyes on HamBak and how aggressive he wants to shove this. Darkwings around as well. Huhi with a magical journey. Won't necessarily find absolutely everything they're looking for as the heal comes on in. Looking to slow down with the command distance. The stun is there.
There's the Impale. It's going straight on in. The slows are good. And a nice pickup by Darkwings. They played it so well. It was just a clear cut forward. Caught him unawares and a nice lockdown. Really well done by Sentinels.
Sometimes it feels good to set things up a little in advance. We say, yes, Lee Sin's gone for this topside play, but it's slowed down his ability to get to level 6. HamBak is in the river first. HamBak gets the level 6 Scuttle Crab. You got a magical journey and an easy Impale.
Yeah, and it was even Huhi landing the stun there too. Like, that was just absolutely magic. Setting it up. Impale was perfectly landed, and once you're locked down, there's nowhere you can go. So, really good proactive play and a battle of inches and miles, and Sentinels are keeping pace.
They are. It's still 1,000 gold lead to Gen.G, and again, some of those CS numbers will be notable. Chovy is, well, Chovying up about that 10 CS. We know what this man is capable of and how dangerous he can be given a laning advantage. He's got the Dark Seal, and that Catalyst of Age is going to be going towards the rower build. And sometimes I'm a big fan of that if it's into a burst comp. Not so sure whether it's needed this game, but hey, that survivability is never anything to be sniffed at for a player like Chovy, who likes to stick around in fights best he can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at the other side too, you do have a Skarner. It's quite a bit of tank on the other side too. Shen as well. Like, these are members that are happy to stick around in these fights. You can't really blow them up too quickly. So I think going for this rower is going to be the right call, where you can just keep the scaling going. You're going to move along with them, and you will be able to do a lot more damage as you start to build. A little bit of burn, maybe some bursts.
Look, I can see the argument that you're drafted a burst comp, and your win condition is not killing the Skarner, it's getting to the backline and ensuring that Rahel and Darkwings never get to play the game. And with that in mind, I could see an argument to build for something like a Luden Shadow Flame and just say, pop goes the Weasel.
Yep.
That's not the decision here. And to be fair, the extra HP will help. There's a little bit of an interrupt here towards Ruler again. Doesn't have that flash, gets eaten by the electrocute, and there's a Shen ult.
Shen's coming in straight on down. Let's see if they can cause it out as Ruler has to use the satchels, dodges out, but still gets tied up.
Oh, lovely.
God. Ace in the hole. A beautiful executed play. A couple ultimates spent, but gold in the pocket.
Good proactivity here from Sentinels. Again, they're coming in with no weight on their shoulders. They are here to prove exactly what they can do. They're going to get a dragon on top of that as well. And all the while, there is a topside play. Teleport's coming up. Keep an eye on that Bard as well, who's on a reset, potentially looking to go topside. Won't happen. But now Gen.G make their own TP moves.
This also means that Kiin can play a little bit more aggressive, right? Like, the ultimate's down for Shen. You can't really do too much. The Impact's not going to be able to move around the map as fast. Void Grubs have now been picked up as well by Gen.G. So they got those trades. But now, this is what I was talking about. Where do they go? But the public execution is good. It might be caught underneath as they say, you try and take out Ruler. We'll come for a little bit more. Kiin is low. He has the flash. He has been taken out. Impact in a 1v4 secures 1-2.
He
does as well. Oh, but it's an execute.
I thought he got the auto off there, didn't quite. Ruler will be able to get the first turret here off this as well with the grubs on top of it. Impact nearly got away with murder. Alas, he only got the one. 2 murders would have been too much, you know?
Oh, but what a great play from Impact. Still able to survive just that little bit longer. The slide overstepped by Kiin, but at the end of the day, they still secured it. First tower, it's these little wins that they're getting over it, and this is what Gen.G does so well.
I mean, Spirit's Refuge proved to be so annoying there. Kiin goes in, having landed the ult, and has half his damage immune by the fact that Shen pressed W. Like, it's so annoying. And as a result, the taunt, the fact that he didn't have that ability to flash because he'd already blown it, proved to be a step too far. Hey, it's still a 1-for-1. You still get the turret. You don't have the insult to injury with the kill also going on to Duro, who does get away with the execute, thankfully.
Yeah, and it's good that we watched the replay here. Public execution was nice, but started tanking a little bit. Duro, you can see, got taken quite low, tanking up initially, but just took one too many, had to burn that flash, and now getting caught once more. Duro tanked it up before, so took about 4 tower shots in total. It's just so much, but still an execute, not the end of the world.
No, exactly. And you still got that turret. It still extends that gold lead somewhat. That's great news for Gen.G, who I think, again, with the Lee Sin, with this Camille, are going to want to try and accelerate the game to some extent, right? We'll get another look at what happened while we were in a replay. As it looks like there was this bot side play onto Ruler that we saw earlier with the Shen ult. Just a really nice play, right?
Yeah.
Ruler doesn't have the flash. With the Shen here as well, Ruler's got very limited options to escape. Doesn't have that much damage yet, and we even get the cinematic death there. That is a great shot.
That was pretty good. I do like following an ace in the hole. It is pretty simple, but we're not playing golf here, unfortunately. It's League of Legends.
That's now, definitely under par.
Yeah, stop it. But now, game slowed down. We're only at 10 minutes. Dragon up in 2.5, but also Rift Herald in 4. You can see here, plates are looking really strong. Gen.G have just been so aggressive on these towers, and you'd expect it when you do have a champion like Ziggs, and when you do see this Shen that has to rotate around, but we'll have to see where these two teams are going to scuff out next.
Yeah, and you look at a player like Rahel, right, who has been very much, actually might have to hold on that, his impact's been left quite low here. Don't think they're going to full send. There is a ward over there and Huhi around, so that'll be the end of the play for now, I think. But what I was going to say is, like, look, Rahel's come over from SK Gaming over in EU. Was a good player on a team that was struggling. Has come over to Sentinels, has really been one of their star carries. If you've been looking for someone to carry games for Sentinels, often been Rahel. HamBak gets in trouble.
One in, caught out by 3. This is just Gen.G with Imagine the Dragon's Rage is good.
Nice.
And Duro picks it up, and a nice secure inside Sentinels jungle.
Yep, that's very smoothly done. Evens up the kill score, and again, the gold continues to grow here for Gen.G. We've seen good proactive moves from Sentinels, yes, but as ever against a lot of these LCK teams, it's the minutiae. It's just the amount of resources they're picking up on the map. You can see the gold leads in for Canyon. You can see the gold lead in for Ruler, who got those plates and that initial turret kill, and that's giving Gen.G a scary platform, especially with what Sentinels need to do, which is stack those dragons. Minute till that next fight. Probably we're going to see those resets coming on through, and yeah, quoted out there by Mike Vocaster. Look at some of those items.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We've got 2 Eclipses already being picked up for the side of Gen.G. Canyon and Kiin, very happy to have these. The trading's going to be really good, but the rower as well now completed, so the stacking is online for Chovy. We're going to start seeing them joining these fights a little bit more and maybe rotating down to this bot side just to get a little bit more farm. We'll have to see. His Dragon up in 50 seconds. Great proactivity from Sentinels to get that early vision.
Okay, so eyes on people like Rahel, has not completed the cull, hasn't got the first item. We've got Ludens, we've got double Eclipses. Gen.G at a real point of power here. HamBak does at least zone Duro away, and what Sentinels do have is good control of the river. They've got the Scuttle Shrine, they've got the wards in play. They're going to want to try and make sure they are forcing Gen.G to come into them, which is a harder task in general.
We'll have to see, though, because we do see Impact is going to have that ultimate up, so it's going to be available to join these fights. So you can sit in the side lane a little bit more, but TP is still available for Kiin. So the side lanes are still going to be able to get to these fights, but Dragon number 10 could be caught out as Chaos Storm is there. Shockwave as well used. Darkwing being sent back is a lot of damage from
Chovy's in trouble here.
HamBak has to come down, looking for that slide, but is not going to be able to make their mark. Chovy taken so low, and we're already seeing Darkwings has to back off, so whether we see Gen.G pull the trigger on this Dragon is a different story.
Yeah, I wondered there with HamBak having the flash and the initial Ixtal's impact to work with, whether he might full send. There's a bit of a play, topsize Kiin, ends up putting down that Repudiate, gets the Eclipse Shield, but won't lead to too much. Again, this will likely be what Broken Blade lovingly dubbed the zombie build, where you go Titanic into Dusk and Dawn, and you get those double Titanic procs that get very obnoxious. Duro on a potential flank angle here. Maybe they look for Darkwings under this turret.
Yeah, it could be fun. They've got a good vision on it, so they know exactly where they are. We'll have to see as the
He's
rest
behind
of the
enemy
side.
lines.
Yeah, really far behind. The flank is impeccable. As they do start up the Dragon,
They don't know.
looking to secure, but now Canyon, now looking for a little bit of that rotation, but the pink ward spots out just that slight bit of vision that Canyon's trying to put out. There is a TP now coming in. Looks like they're going to try and take the contest. Duro's right in the backside of it. HamBak might be caught unawares. There's 4 members on the road, but HamBak has to flash away. But look at Ruler's getting caught out by 4. They traded 1, but no, it's too good. Rahel has picked up Ruler. The backside public Ruler's just on the backside too, getting caught too. It's too much damage taken out. Let's see if they can continue this fight. Duro is going to go for a little bit more. Huhi getting caught, a lot of damage.
And all the while, Huhi just about surviving, and the play's gonna kind of fiddle out a little bit here. Fizzles out, and again, you get the Dragon as Gen.G. You get a kill back, what looked like a solid pick onto Ruler, and you do get Duro as well, so to apologize on that one makes it a little more even.
And now that fight's done, they can slow down, they can reset for a Rift Herald. That's where the next big fight's going to be.
And look, the thing is, for Gen.G, look, the gold lead's kind of been shrunk somewhat. That's unfortunate for them, but they stop the Dragon stacking. Rahel gets a second kill off. Look at this replay, because it ended up very split. Initially, I thought Duro's flank was going to be very, very dangerous, and somewhat it was. You see HamBak gets that one, but the problem is, the moment Duro comes over the wall, you get this full send onto Rulu. Does a very good job of dodging quite a lot of skill shots there. The problem is, you can dodge all you want. Auto attacks are a little harder to manage. Kiin, though, great public execution means that Rahel's got limited options, and that gives him the kill back.
I think the big thing there as well is as the fight continued here, and not a huge amount really came off it, a flash was burnt by impact, a tempered fade as well was used, so it's a lot going on, and now the fight's kicking back out. Canyon's trying to land a resonating strike, seeing if they can get onto HamBak, but the tankiness is there, the heart steal's online, another tower secured.
And look, end of that fight, Duro went in, ended up getting blasted on the way. Darkwings been left a little low, doesn't quite die yet, the Sonic Wave just wide, and Darkwings holds his nerve.
That is honestly well played. A little bit of the side steps, and maybe Canyon was saying, oh, maybe we just don't want to go for it. Like, it's fine, let's not worry. But Rift Herald still on the cards. They see the play, they don't get the pick, but they still say, let's go to the Rift Herald. These objectives is what Gen.G does so well, is control, control, control.
Reminder, Sentinels banned out the Pike, they banned out the Nautilus. Duro gets the Camille, currently 1 and 3. Overplayed in that last fight. It's a really good flank, and then at the end, went over the wall and immediately got blasted. Like, literally got Death Raid, Siphoning Power, and died. And you have to wonder whether potentially it's a question about, hey, we're more afraid of that Pipe, more afraid of that Nautilus, and it's not a great space for the Camille right now. We've seen this happen before, where the Camille dies early, still managed to get involved later, but you really do want that snowball. You want the Blood Song. You want the Sundered Sky as early as you can get to not die every time you make a play.
I think the big side of that as well is you got that Hextech ultimatum from the Camille. That is just the perfect target for a Tempered Fate. The second you go in, you've just got a target put on saying, if I stop them here, we can delay the fight a bit more. So it's one of these little macro counterplays you can do with a Bard when it is this Camille looking to be proactive in these fights. But now, sieging on mid, let's see if HamBak wants to make a play as now getting taken out. There's the Shockwave too, Dragon's Rage is nice. Tempered Fate keeps them alive, but they're just a little bit too far forward. The damage is good, and Chovy picks up their first kill of the game.
Yeah, and sometimes the Tempered Fate's all well and good, but all it does is delay things. And the other side of that, as we kind of potentially think about it as well, is look, you've got a Shockwave. That's faster than Tempered Fate in 8 out of 10 times. If you're on it as Gen.G, the safety just isn't going to arrive in time. The cavalry's on the horizon, but it ain't the dawn of the 5th day yet.
That's it. And I do also like something we haven't really noted with Gen.G picking up these Void Grubs, especially with the Ziggs, towers are just gone. It is so quickly destroyed. And that's why you can see it is 3 towers to none to the side of Gen.G. They're moving Ziggs around the map. It is Ruler able to make these plays and get that extra goal lead. And it's why we're seeing 3.5 for Gen.G.
Yeah, part of it as well, right, is we're in a meta and a general state of League of Legends. We'll have to hold on this one for a second as Chovy, I think, is going to get jumped on with this Shen ult as well. Hello, Chovy gets stunned up.
It's too much. Just a great lockdown. And it is Darkwing picking up their second kill. They're going to be feeling really good moving into this mid-late game.
And it feels like the Bard has been the primary Shen carrier because he can turn up at really odd places. The magical journey allows you to pinpoint Shen into very easy shadow dashes. Chovy goes down. Yeah, he's got a rower. He's a bit tankier, but not tanky enough as yet. And again, still credit to Sentinels. They haven't been shy of making these proactive moves. They still need to pick up some structures. It's 3 to none right now, and that's where a lot of gold from Gen.G is sitting.
I think let's take a quick second to look at some items as well that are on the board. We've got a couple nice big ones, but Dragon coming up, we need to take that skill check.
Exactly, and the thing is, with those items coming, Sentinel's going to say, we're going to go and get this turret, look for a reset, and you're right, those items are pretty significant with Kiin getting a black cleaver, with the fact that Ruler's got his 2 items as well. We'll get this replay onto HamBak, who got kicked out from under his own damn turret. That's very rude.
Yeah, just the safety as well. Like you said, sometimes when you get that tempered fate, if you're a little bit too far forward, they're happy to sit on top of you. It's a bit of a rough one, but end of the day, got to make those plays and hope for the best.
Yeah, and again, with that play topside for that turret afterwards, means the Sentinels aren't realistically in position to contest for this Dragon. It would only be second anyway for Gen.G. So I think with some of these item spikes being what they are, there's Chovy with the Chovy belt. We've seen the Black Cleaver in for the side of Kiin on this Ambessa. It might be wise to say, look, I would rather play for another item on this Caitlyn, for another item on this Shen, and just give it a Drake.
I have to see is they're, again, trying to get a little bit more vision control here for Gen.G as they do go start up the Dragon. Maybe this is one of those signs that Sentinel says, let's just give it. They're already here. It's a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to wait for a couple more items to come on in. So I love this practice play. Gen.G, second Dragon.
And look, literally as you speak about it, Rahel gets the Infinity Edge. If you have that 30 seconds before, we might be having a different conversation. But you don't have it at the time, and you would have been into Luden's Rocket Belt, to mostly stacked Rower and the Rocket Belt. You know, you've just seen that Sundered Sky get completed from Canyon as well. It's just a rough point in time to be fighting, and one of those things that I think a lot of teams who are still struggling a little bit fall prey to is, I think we need to fight for this Dragon and just go, well, there's item completion to no item completion. Yeah. And there is very rarely a bigger discrepancy in League of Legends, even if the gold is close.
Yeah, absolutely. But now, 2 items apiece. Starters come online. Luden's and a Proto Belt being picked up by Ruler 2, so a little bit more mobility in the burst is going to be really nice to see. I think that's also why we saw Chovy going a little bit of that Rod of Ages sort of build. It's getting that mobility, but scaling as well.
Completely out of game here, but I'm smiling into the distance as there's Gen.G mascots wandering around the arena, smiling and waving at the game, and maybe even look at the game. Oh my god!
Canyon able just to ward hop very cleanly as the Rift has been charged for, but no tower secured.
That'll be what they were cheering for then. Yeah. Just about getting away with it on there, as they will now escape back with that magical journey. Get the chunk into mid lane, the Tempered Fate, use an attempted pick off there, but Gen.G survived the little attempt from Sentinels onto the mid lane tier 1. Chovy and of course Canyon topside, Kiin also shoving against Impact.
Yeah, it's not too bad. A couple crystalline growths to pick up, but getting taunted out, so have to be pretty careful as you are now tanking up a tower, but that damage is really starting to come online. You said the Black Cleaver is going to start getting through these shields quite well. I have to see as they go straight onto HamBak. Caught out, Duro's here, Impale is good, but just sent flying too. I think this one was kicked over the wall. It's going to be enough, and Canyon picks up the kill.
Look, they try to come in with the the Stand United, that's the one, not the Poppy W. I sometimes conflate those 2 abilities, but it wasn't enough. Darkwings now teleported in to try and make a counter play.
And as the Chaos Storm does go forward, the flash is good, the safety of the tower is going to be nice, but Huhi is here, doesn't land the stun.
I think he's in
trouble.
trouble.
See if they can go for a little bit more. Public execution doesn't land, and a shutdown for Darkwings. They're looking fantastic. 3-0-2.
Hang on.
Baron's been started.
That it is, and again, HamBak was the one that was picked up. This won't be a fast Baron, but it will be healthy enough. Canyon's got a fair amount of sustain. Ruler and Duro now here as well. I'm not sure Sentinels know about this.
They're just doing it blind. Like, there's 0 vision on the top side for the side of Sentinels. Let's look at the replay. I think the Baron might just be gone.
Look, HamBak's about to get picked off here. He's very alone, and Canyon and Duro pair up with Chovy and get the pick on the jungler. And this is what gives Gen.G license to start the Baron, especially because Sentinels choose to try and make the cross-map play all the way on the bottom lane, miles away from Baron. And when we come back to live, you will see that Baron power play is active. Gen.G secure it.
Look, picking up a Baron at this point in the game, still only a 3k gold lead for Gen.G, but they're securing towers on the other side. Darkwing picking up that tier 1 in the bot, but this Baron's going to be so powerful. The second you start trying to push, there's going to be Void Mites everywhere.
Yeah, and again, we had this conversation, well, we started to, and then Chovy got picked on that side. We ruined the whole point. Thanks for that, Chovy. Unnecessary flame. There we go. But the point is, we are in a meta of League of Legends where AD carries aren't that necessary in the way they were years ago to take turrets. Ziggs is so good at turret destruction, especially with the grubs, that you can just play for Siege using an APC here.
Chovy has to be careful here. HamBak was coming through, but spotted out on vision, so good work on Gen.G just covering their bases as well. Duro taking to about half health. It is still a lot. Ace in the hole now too. Does get a chunk. 1/4 health now for Duro. They might have to look for a reset as they are starting to siege down on this bot side. Should be fairly easy with a satchel to lock it down. So just another tower taken up. 4 towers to 2. The side of Gen.G. The lead is starting to creep up again.
That it is. So, gold lead 3,500. You've got that second dragon. Gen.G at a good platform here in general. Minute on that dragon. Soul point potentially for Gen.G. Of course, the resets coming on through with those Baron empowered recalls should be relatively easy to get back up on the map. Sentinels, though, taking the opportunity to try and get that mid-tier 1. Certainly got the 2 turrets and been trying desperately to get rid of that, but you're into a Ziggs. It's always a nightmare to get through the wave clear.
Yeah, it was funny. Huhi just took that 1 tower shot like, yeah, I got it, guys. I got it. Don't worry.
You take what you can get.
But okay, Canyon looking at impact on the top side, level 14 to level 16. It's a pretty big Shen at this point. You've got to be a little bit careful, but Canyon is so far ahead. 2.2k gold lead. It's pretty big.
And they might just say, look, we don't care about this dragon right now. We'd rather get the pressure on the rest of the map, pick up some more gold. And Canyon, a player who was first picking these Lee Sin, who has been criticized recently for his level of form being nowhere near his personal extreme highs of best in the world. So far, so good. 303, 100% kill participation, up 2,500 gold. It's vintage Canyon as far as I'm concerned.
It feels like Canyon's really back. Like, I don't think he really left, in my opinion, but I honestly think he's looking on form in today's game, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do as the dragon does get started up.
That it does. Teleports come flying. The Caitlyn traps are there. Chovy does step on one, but there's no punish. Look at Duro on that flank as well. Canyon looking to split up a little bit, but impact here. The danger's good.
It's going to be too much for Canyon. Has to get chunked out a bit too much, but Dragon is still low. But look at HamBak. They've left the Dragon. This is not ideal. Tempered Fate does keep the Dragon in play a little bit longer. HamBak has the tank. He's starting to move forward. It's going to be a smite off. It could be a little bit. The shockwave does come through. Look at the backside as well. Duro has to leave, but Ruler taking some shots. Ace in the hole is going to get stopped by Canyon. What is going on?
Impact managed to zone off 2 people by himself. This will be the smite fight.
But now they're going for a Mega Inferno Bomb. Is there? Smite one is good. It's Canyon locking it out. Now they just need to survive the fight as it is still 5v5. They need to be careful.
That was a very tense moment there for Gen.G. I got a little nervous with Duro and Kiin being zoned off. They might still be in danger as Chovy has to flash.
Good flash out is going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but that's Darkwings with the Proto Belt forward. They need to be playing it safe. Rule is their final bomber. Canyon, where are you going there, my guy? It is not the place to be. Trying to hold on. Does get the hop over. But now Kiin is in the wrong spot too. Maybe they're looking to go for this tower too. They take the dragon. Maybe they can push the play. The TPs are good. They get those big shields. Let's see what they can do.
Sentinels got nothing there. They got very close to getting a few things. Dragon kills. They get nothing, and Gen.G get another turret, get soul point, and are beginning to just run away with the game. That gold lead, step by step, inch by inch, grows larger and larger and larger.
And we can talk about soul point all day till the cows come home. 4 minutes on the timer, but there's a Baron in 2. We're seeing every 2 minutes there's going to be something big coming onto a screen here, and it is EWC pulling out the goods as Gen.G are just taking it to Sentinels.
And look, Darkwings, you've got yourself a solid gold lead. You've got 3 items. You're nearly at 3 for this Caitlyn. In some ways, wait, that's a decent flash away.
Epic ultimatum is good. Ruler picks it up. First kill of the game with a Mega Inferno Bomb.
Oh, that was the combo we were afraid of. It was supposed to happen at 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They make it happen here. Rahel tries to back away with the 90 caliber net. Duro says no. Flash. Ult to follow, and that's a dead Caitlyn.
Oh, it's opening up this base now too is so big. It's all a bit of that defensive play. They need to get the smart wards out and just keep this line of vision available, because as it is, Impact is quite overstepping. Doesn't have ultimate available to get out. Might have a TP, but Canyon's already there looking for a scrap. Trying to take it on, level 17 to level 15, but here comes Duro looking for a little bit more. Gets the taunt straight on in, 2v1. Ah, Kiin's not even joining this fight. I think Impact is just no longer for this map.
He's trying to get a hold of the wave. He gets most of it, but not enough. And actually, as I said, that it was only the single auto he managed to get down. It will finally give Sentinels that mid lane tier 1, so at least they trade their top laner for something there. there, but still, nice play from Canyon, who basically said, look, I've got teammates coming, and gets to pick that up with a little assistance.
I'm liking this little bit of the vision control that we're seeing out of Sentinels now around the Baron. 20 seconds on it spawning, so looking towards this top side, they open up the mid-tier 1. So it's nice to see they're still trying to make these little moves, even with Impact being targeted.
Look, it's not really been about Chovy this game, but it's worth noting he's now picked up a death cap. That damage is going to get very high, and Rahel could see very little indeed there.
Oh, yeah, we can see that's just rough. The bomb lands perfectly. It's a target if ever I've seen one.
Look, I think realistically, Rahel has to go for the flash 90 cal net just to be a little bit quicker, but Duro just isn't given the option. And once you're in the cage, there is nothing you can do. That was a Ziggs with 3 items. You'd already lost a bit of HP to the Camille, who's got a Sundered Sky. You only need that to be genuinely chunking people, and the Caitlyn suffers as a result. Baron is up. Gen.G undoing all the vision control that Sentinels did a little earlier on. They got that one ward just into Gen.G jungle, so potentially a teleport angle for the likes of an Impact if they want to make it happen. Looks for that Shadow, can't quite find it, and Canyon happy enough. Rahel gets chunked by that bomb,
yeah, you can see as well. Shockwave onto HamBak down here. Public Execution does get sidestepped. Kiin unable to lock it down. Have to see is it Canyon.
Does get some damage, gets to back away, but that's not bad from Sentinels to hold the line there. Canyon goes back in, he's quite low here.
Oh, gotta be careful. There's the GA pop. They're caught out. The rest of the team's gonna go around, but has to flash over. Dragon's Rage, ward off into the Baron pit. Canyon survives what looked like a secured kill.
There was no Caitlyn nearby to get the trap underneath. Normally GAs are baked into Caitlyn because you die, she sticks a trap under you, and the moment you resurrect, you ain't Lazarus, you're just dead again. This time, though, Canyon's able to escape. He oversteps, but manages to finagle his way out, leasing things, I guess.
And I guess both sides aren't really thinking about the Baron right now. It is this big play on the Dragon. 45 seconds. We're seeing Canyon saying, all right, you got my GA. That's fine. I'm going to get all the vision control I need.
And crazily enough, Darkwings is very happily leading the way in damage, and he's having a good game here. 3-0-2 needs to deliver in this soul fight.
Viktor, not often known as one of those big carries, but HamBak here, TP is going to be used. It is Impact joining the fight.
Hang on, Huhi.
Duro's on the other side, getting caught out. Huhi wants a little bit more, but there it is. They're trying to take out Canyon. Shockwave is good. Could be caught. No GA to keep you alive in this one, but they do get the Dragon's Rage. It pulls them back.
All the while, Sentinels now in the river. They've got the jungler chunk, but so is HamBak. I think both teams are still ready and willing to fight. Do we get to set up some of the zone control?
I have to see. We didn't see the Impale being used, and Duro now getting jumped on. Magical Journey is good. Blast goes forward. Huhi trying to keep them in this fight. No! Goes the Hextech ultimatum. Mega Inferno bomb hit, but it's Canyon picking him up. It's all too much. Rahel taken off the board. Now they're looking for a little bit more as Kiin has that Black Cleaver. Double kill for Canyon on the bot side. HamBak just gets destroyed. Kiin is looking so strong. The satchel pushing back Darkwings. Could be their first death of the game.
All the while, Ruler and Chovy get going. Impact flashes, and the zombie build comes to life. Chovy in danger, needs to run. Darkwings goes golden.
Going golden is going to keep them alive a little bit longer, but Chovy still has to damage Canyon. It's too much. Look at Kiin. They've teamed into the base. They're looking to end this game. They've taken out all of Sentinels, and Gen.G get the ace, and they're looking at the Nexus.
They just had an eye elsewhere. Keep him busy. Keep him involved. Kiin TP's in, and the Ambessa breaks the base.
Gen.G taking it all the way in this best of one and able to lock this game down. Sentinels, they were holding on, but you can't hold on for much longer against Gen.G.
That last fight, there were some moments there where I wondered who he flashed in to block the hookshot escape. And then the Mega Inferno bomb comes in, and then you lose the smite fight, and Chovy and Ruler just proved inevitable. They didn't even need Kiin. They sent him to end the game.
And it was just so good, and it just goes to show they're thinking layers upon layers on how to win these games. They don't need to fight. They can send one to